Hey everybody, it's me Liv. So today I'm going to be bringing you a really simple project that I'm doing. I am making an additional stand here using these Dollar Tree containers, and I'm going to be creating something where I can put my Distress Oxide inks. Now I am not one who really likes to measure things out, so I just wanted to show you my cheapy way of how I measure sometimes because I'm really too lazy to take out a ruler. But anyway, what I've done is gone ahead and trim everything down, and I'm just going to be using some regular oak glue and distressing all of the edges of my papers in order to get them down onto this application. Once I have that all set, I'm going to be doing all three sides. Now, if you're wondering which paper collection I'm using, this is a paper collection that is from Craft the Clock. It's one that I've used before in a couple of other videos, but I had a bunch of papers left, so I thought I would go ahead and buy it. I usually get my Craft the Clock paper over from Spectrum Arts Creations. I will put a link to her store below if you're interested in purchasing some of this paper. I really love the grungy mixed media feel of most of the papers that they have over there from Craft the Clock, so I do buy a lot of them. And then you're going to need to do the same exact thing on the other container as well. Now, because I'm actually going to be putting items inside of these containers, I'm not so worried about decorating the interior because to me, they're going to be covered up. You're not really going to see it. I just want the sides to be nice and to really pop up because that's the aspect that most people are going to see. So I've decided to skip ahead a little bit because you've kind of seen the crux of what I've done to create these projects. I always just kind of freehand most of my trimming and such when I'm doing it. And now that my boxes are done, I'm going to actually work on the sides. I also got these sides from the Dollar Tree. And for me, what I really was just looking on doing is picking the prettiest parts of these flowers. I wanted them to pop. I went ahead and trimmed those edges, did do some layering on both of these sides. As you can see, I'm just going to do just a little bit of distress inking along here. When I actually did this one, I realized that I didn't trim it exactly as it needed to be. Still a little too wide, so I'm very quickly going to pull it up before I ruin anything too much. Trim off a little bit so that I do get the equal amount of edging that like I have in the other one. Get that inked up and then go ahead and put it down. So now it pretty much matches the other one that you saw from that side. Next thing I'm also going to do is actually take out one of my Tim Holtz stencils. I am using some of this gold paste here, and as you can see, just to add some different type of texture throughout this piece. Little touches like this just adds an additional dimension when you're working with it. You can put as much or as little as you want. Since this is just like a little bit added touch, I'm just adding it to the top and the bottom to keep it pretty much consistent with the other ones. Now, you can let that dry off. I probably suggest to do that. If not, just be really careful as you're putting it down. You see me trying to avoid those spots because it's still pretty wet. But I am going to, try to let it dry off a little bit before I tape together, or actually glue together the two sides here. So you see me doing the same exact thing on the other side, just kind of gently pushing it down, avoiding too much of touching my texture paste until it has dried off. And then for this, I'm just inking actually all along the edges of the wood. One of the cool things about using a Distress Oxide pad is the fact that it can ink all over wood as well as paper. And finally, I felt like the edges that I had, the front ones that you were actually going to be able to see, were a little bit bare. So I took that sheet that you just saw there and decided to trim out just the flower ones so that it could pop a little bit more. And I'm going to be putting it on the two sides that you would be able to see, because the other sides are actually going to be where the boards are holding the two trays together. So I didn't actually make it go all the way to the end. I felt like having it more as a band would look kind of cool. And so you'll see I will do that on these two pieces. Once I have that all down, it is time to go ahead and glue down the sides. Now, I find that for a project like this, using just my art glitter glue was sufficient enough to hold everything in place. I did not need anything stronger. If you feel that you do need something stronger, you can go ahead and use that. The trick here is just making sure that you actually line up the pieces and kind of center it where you want it to go. So as you see, I've gone ahead and put that, and I'm just trying to make sure everything is pretty much lined up where I want it to be, and that there is no significant misalignment of the pieces. I want to make sure there's also enough space because my plan is to use this as a holder for some of my distress ink, actually spray bottles. I usually try to keep my distress oxide sprays and my regular distress stains all in different containers. So as you can see, this is the finished product. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really love the way it came out. Super handy and also very beautiful. So double check your Dollar Trees if you're interested in making a project such as this. Plenty of space to hold things. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.